There's a mountain of weight on a lead's shoulders. And all the support guys really don't have that same kind of responsibility. They can kind of just freewheel and do whatever. But a really, really good support guy will try to take pieces of that mountain and put it on their own shoulders. It's almost like a form of leadership within itself. Followership. What does that even mean? So I did an episode recently about, being a good job lead and being good at leading jobs, but it takes just as much practice to learn how to be a good follower, be a support guy. So what does it mean to be a support guy? Really, it means that you're a helper. You are there to help the job. You're there to make it easier on the lead guy. If it's just like you and a journeyman, you're there to make their job easier because it's their job. They're the ones there to do work. You're there to assist and help get the job done more efficiently, and lend a hand wherever is needed. So how do you execute this role well? Well, first and foremost, you need to carry your load well. And that means you need to be doing your best work to completion every single day, because you're being relied upon basically to do something. And if everybody has to come behind you and double check your work and find that you're doing all these code violations, you're doing really sloppy work, they have to come behind you and redo your work. So basically you're being useless. You're wasting time and money if you're not doing really good work. You want the people around you to be able to rely on you and count on you to do good work and to do work efficiently and to support whatever you guys are doing throughout the day. So you need to like carry your load well. That's really it. Just do your work the best that you can do it. You also need to be really good at asking questions. I mean, like trying to gain as much information about something before going to do it as you can. That helps you not have to do something and then do it wrong and then everybody has to redo it or you have to redo it. Don't be afraid to ask a lot of questions, and if you don't understand something, ask again. Like keep asking more and more questions until you fully understand what it is that you need to do. A lot of people, so many people in this trade and in all trades have an ego and they don't want to ruffle somebody's feathers by not understanding what it is they're being told to do, and then they don't want to ask a second question. They want to make it seem like, yeah, I know how to do that. I know what to do. And then they go off and fuck it up. And because they were too afraid or they had too big of an ego to just like keep asking questions and make it known that they don't understand, just ask a lot of questions. And if you don't get what somebody is saying to do, be like, okay, I'm not understanding. Like, you want me to do this? And repeating things back to somebody is a really good idea. When somebody gives you an order or gives you a task, just be like, okay, just to make sure you want me to do this, 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 and this, and you want me to run this way and put these over here. Because then a lot of times they're going to be like, no, not at all. You're way wrong. This is what I want you to do. But getting all of that communication and all those things answered first is crucial. Because again, you don't want to have to redo everything. And you don't want to have other people come behind you and fix all your shit. So it just helps you do things correctly and however the lead wants. Now, all that being said, you want to time your questions correctly. There's a time and a place to ask somebody 40 questions. If you have like a couple of questions about something, you don't go up to somebody, ask one question, and then get back to work, and then 5 minutes later walk up and ask another question, and then get back to work, and then go 5 minutes later, ask another question, and then get back to work. And every time somebody's walking by you, you're stopping them to ask them a question. That's annoying as shit. It's a pain in the ass because the lead or the guys running the jobs, they have a lot of shit on their plate. And you stopping them all the time just frustrates, and it stops their ability to lead the job. So know when to ask all these questions. And if you're asking questions that have nothing to do with what you're doing, it's just thoughts that you had, save that shit for later. Save it for the drive home. But knowing when to ask questions is a really, really important skill to have, and I think a lot of people don't get that. Your job as a helper, and this is from day one all the way to if you're a master electrician and you're assisting somebody doing a job. You're working with somebody. Your job as a tradesman in general is to anticipate need while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. So think about that term for a second, anticipate need. It means that at all times you should have the awareness around you of what everybody else is doing around you. Pay attention to what you are doing, but if you're anticipating need, you can see this person over here is like struggling to lift something. Stop what you're doing, go help them lift it. Or if you notice that they're up on a lift and they don't have something and they're about to come down and go walk over and find a piece of material, just go grab it. You're anticipating that they're going to need this thing. So you anticipate it, go get it, and then right when they turn around, boom, you've got it. You're anticipating need. And that happens all the time. I mean, even as a crew lead, if I'm out on a job and I notice that somebody's about to finish and they're up on a ladder and I'm doing something, my job leading is to make sure that all of y'all have everything that you need at all times so that you can keep working and that you don't have to stop, change directions, figure everything out, find solutions, get back over, tool up again, and start working again. It's just like it throws a wrench in everything. So even a master electrician, even a crew lead, anybody that's in charge of stuff, you need to be anticipating need as well. You guys all need to kind of work as a team. So if you see other people struggling with something, or you have a quick break, you finish doing what you're doing, and you look around and you see this dude's having a problem with something, just go over there, help really quick. You always have to get in the pattern of anticipating need. When you're a brand new helper and you're like wet behind the ears still, you're pretty much only going to be anticipating need. You're going to be a gopher, really. You need to learn what the materials are. You need to watch people work so you understand the job that you're about to start learning. So part of anticipating need is like somebody telling you to go get something, go get some couplings, go get some connectors, go get some straps, wire nuts. But if you start anticipating need and you've been watching people work, you'll look at something and be like, oh, he's putting that pipe over there. He's going to need to strap, and he doesn't have his drill on him. His drill's down here. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. That way when he turns around, you've already got everything ready. That is anticipating need, and that is a skill that is never going to go away. And along those lines, anticipating need, really you want to do things every day that you know are going to help. There are certain things that you can watch people and just take action and do them without somebody telling you. But don't go so far as to just start taking things into your control and doing things without being asked. But if you're noticing, like, I don't know, the truck needs to be stocked and there's no more wire nuts, like that's something, again, you're anticipating need. You're taking a step to do something, and you're taking charge of a task that you really know needs to be done. That's a huge part of being a helper and being a support guy, is just making sure that everybody's got everything that they need. You have to think about the mentality of a crew lead, somebody that's in charge of a job. Some jobs are small, sure. A lot of jobs are, medium-sized, large jobs. So think of the lead guy as somebody that has a mountain on their shoulders. They've got the entire weight of everything. They've got the liability of the company, the safety of all of the people working around them, the customer watching and being on their ass to do things a certain way. They're trying to not lose money for the company. There's so much, and they have to have the plan for how everything is supposed to be done, which way, how are we doing all of this. There's a mountain of weight on a lead's shoulders, and all the support guys really don't have that same kind of responsibility. They can kind of just freewheel and do whatever. But a really, really good support guy will try to take pieces of that mountain and put it on their own shoulders. It's almost like a form of leadership within itself. If you can help take some weight off of them, and you've got a couple of other guys, and this lead guy can put bits of that mountain on their shoulders, the mountain's still being carried. It's all there, but there's help with it, so it's evenly dispersed. So that gives the lead guy a little bit of room to breathe and observe things and to be able to navigate things a lot more efficiently and to do the work more efficiently. He has people he can trust, or she has people that she can trust to do all of this stuff with them, rather than it just being singularly on their shoulders and feeling stressed out because there's nobody around that they can trust to do quality work, do things right, take charge, take a little piece of the problem and make it their own problem. So a really good support person will kind of step up and help to kind of like take some of that weight off the lead's shoulders. especially if you're a very experienced helper. If you've been doing this a few years, or even if you've been a job lead and you're just on someone else's job, you're not the lead this time, but they are the lead. Or if you've been a lead and you've done a lot of these things and you're with somebody who hasn't, but they're the lead, they're kind of like new to leading, it's your job to kind of help them lead, help teach them how this needs to go. A lot of people, this industry is fraught with people that are more experienced but don't want to take on the responsibility of leading. But they're going to sit there and chicken hawk and pick apart everything that a new lead is doing, rather than helping them and stepping in and being like, here's some things that you want to think about. I've done a whole bunch of these, and I'm here if you need anything. If you need some pointers, feel free to ask. But instead, they want to sit and tell them everything that they're doing is wrong and undermine them and make them know that they're the less experienced one and I'm the more experienced one. There's a lot of that goes on, and I think people just need to step back and understand the impact of what they're doing and how it affects the job that they're on. If you don't care about your job every day, then you're not going to care about the people on your job either. You're just there to get a paycheck, and honestly, you're going to run into people like that everywhere, in every job, but especially in the trades. But if you actually care about your job, you care about the people that you work around, and you want to do good work and you want to help bring people up with you, then you'll give a shit about somebody that has less experience, and trying to kind of like be cunning in your approach of leadership. Don't be so aggressive towards it that you're taking charge of their job. Just be in the background and kind of slyly position things to them and be wise about it. Give them suggestions and ideas and sit back and let them lead. Now for some pro tips. So number one, as a support person, you need to know when to step up and when to step back. There are times that you're gonna see things are just going awry, and it's like, all right, now's the time I need to step up and like lean into this and help. And if the leadership is not going very well on a job, it's your time to step up and just try to help in any way that you can. But if something's going awry and you realize you're probably not the right person to be stepping up, that's the time to step back. Let whoever else handle it that has more experience, that knows more. But a lot of people that are inexperienced want to appear to be more experienced, so they're just going to jump in, and then they end up throwing a wrench in everything when they should have just stepped back and let other people take in charge. But then there's a lot of people that are, maybe lazy or just don't give a shit, but they're the ones that should step in and help, but they're not willing to. They're afraid. They're either going to get yelled at, or they just don't care. But being a support person, you need to know when is the right time to step in and when the right time to step back is. Number 2 pro tip is pay attention to your surroundings all the time. This is something that takes practice. A lot of people are so linearly focused, singularly focused on the task that they're doing every day that they miss a lot of things that are going on around them. And for a lead guy to have all of this mountain of stuff on their plate, things get missed. Like you're trying to view things from so far back that a lot of times you miss small details right in front of you. So it's good to have the support people around you just always paying attention. If you hear a manager and the lead talking about something, listen. Maybe there's a detail that was said that lead guy is going to miss. And when he's talking about, this is how we're going to do this, you could be like, well, didn't he just say he doesn't want that? And then the lead guy's like, oh, yeah, shit, you're right. Totally missed that. So it's really helpful to have, pay attention to everything. Pay attention to the people you're working with too. Watch how they're doing things, and that's how you notice if somebody needs help with something. That's how you notice whether or not something has been completed yet. But just keep your attention always on everything around you, everybody around you, other trades around you, the manager that keeps walking in and out. Just pay attention to things, because you'll notice so much instead of just thinking about the conversation you had with your girlfriend last night and chewing on that throughout your head and sitting here in front of the one thing that you're doing. You just miss a lot. Number 3, be the person that can be counted on. This is huge. If you want someday to be a lead, then you need to be working every day for years on end to become a person that people can count on, people can rely on. This is as simple as showing up on time or showing up early. Be the person that's always involved, asking questions, trying to figure out how things work, what's going on. Be the one that's doing really, really good work so that everybody around you knows, like, oh, dude, this guy's showing up. Hell yeah, we got a good person here to like help this thing go along. Because the inverse of that is being the person that everybody's like, oh, fuck this guy. Because they don't do any of these things. You're just going to go further and you're going to help the team more if you're somebody that can be counted on to do things. And the last one, be open to criticism. Always. A lot of people have large egos and they're so centered around the little bubble that is themselves that it doesn't really include other people, and it doesn't allow them to face criticism well. They get like emotionally charged and then they get angry, and then, you know, they don't take, you're in this trade, there's so much criticism. Like that's something you just need to get used to on day one. You need to put your feelings on hold. You need to take that ego and set that thing down. And when somebody tells you did something bad, when they say it looks like shit, it's ugly, it's not to code, it's this, it's that, you should have done this next time, blah, blah, blah. For the first 4 years that you're a helper, that's all you're going to get. It's like, no, you did that wrong. No, that looks like shit. No, that's not how I told you. Dude, I just told you 7 times how to do that, and you keep messing it up. Get used to that. Put your ego on the sideline and be okay with taking criticism. Even if it's not friendly, even if somebody's like kind of like ripping into you and they're upset, that's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's the trades, man. We're not like delivering flowers to elderly people. So you need to get used to, you're in a dangerous ass environment. What you're doing can kill yourself, kill other people. You need to be able to take the message that you're not doing something very well and that you need to get better at it. Even if you think you're doing a really good job and you ask somebody and they tell you they completely shit on it, it sucks, man. It sucks. But like, don't run home and cry about it. Take it as criticism. See what you did wrong, reassess it, and do it better next time. But so many people have their feelings just like bound up and their egos are like revolved around somebody saying this looks perfect. And that's just not the way things are. As long as you are doing the best work every day that you can, giving a shit about the quality of what you're putting out there and trying to help everybody around you, and just, I don't know, generally just not be an asshole, like try to be a team player, do good work, help everybody else do good work. It's going to make the company money. You guys are going to keep getting in more jobs, and you're going to have a job to go to. So that's it. I love you people. Hope you gained something from that. If you have any comments, leave them below, and I will see you in the next one.